It's a chilly morning up here in Genting, but not to worry because I have not one but two hot new SUVs. This is the new facelifted Peugeot 388 and this is the new facelifted Peugeot 588. And thanks to BERMAZ, Peugeot's new distributor here in Malaysia, we've been given exclusive access to find out everything you need to know about these two hot new SUV entrants. So lovely, cool, crisp Genting has been replaced with hot and muggy Mont Kiara, but we've still got these lovely two French SUVs to look at. So we're going to take a quick walk around both of these cars. We'll start with the 388 and end with the 588 and tell you everything you need to know about these two new SUVs. So we'll start with the 388, as I said earlier. So this is a facelift, so you get a whole new bolder front fascia with this new frameless grille that works its way seamlessly into the bumper. You now get full LED headlights with this new signature claw daytime running light that goes all the way down the side. This also doubles up as the indicator. You now get the new 3D Peugeot logo, which is actually being replaced by a shield. You get the 388 badging up here on the bonnet. Moving down the side, you still get 17-inch dual-tone alloy wheels, which both look the part but also provide excellent grip thanks to the Conti cross-contact tyres. Now moving down the side, you get chrome door mirror caps as well as a little bit of chrome down on the bottom. This little bit of cladding here helps to make the car look a little bit more active, a bit more SUV, a bit more sporty. Now going down to the back, there are a couple more changes like this new transparent style tail light where you have these triple claws back here, again a part of a Peugeot signature. You get the big prominent Peugeot badging at the back and you get a couple of fake exhaust exits, but they are what they are. Now you also get a powered tailgate with a kick to open function. Unfortunately I don't have a key on me so I can't demonstrate that to you, but inside there's a lot of stuff in here, but you can see just how practical this SUV truly is. There's also a 12-volt socket down on the side and you get a couple of little hooks over here in order for you to flip down the rear seats. Now we're going to talk about the interior in just a second, which will require a quick cut to the inside. And inside the Peugeot 388, the changes are a little bit minor. Now this has always been a upper mainstream style car, so the interior does feel quite upmarket. You have this nice fabric here, a lot of soft touch materials everywhere, but of course the changes are centered around technology. So you now have a 10-inch touchscreen in the middle, as well as Peugeot's iCockpit design. So you also have a full digital instrument cluster ahead of this relatively small steering wheel, which is meant to be adjusted to sit a little bit lower. As a result, you have this very driver-focused cabin. Even though this is still ultimately a large family SUV, it still feels very encompassing and very cozy for the driver. Everything you touch here is lovely. Like I said, soft touch materials everywhere. You get these piano style switches here, a lot of brushed aluminium trim. It looks wonderful. You also now get things like a wireless charger. Up ahead you get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. The digital instrument cluster is infinitely customizable, and of course you still get a high fidelity audio system. It's not a name brand, but it's still pretty good. You also get things like ambient lighting around the car to make the car feel just as special at night. And when the sun isn't out or when it isn't too hot, you also have a panoramic glass roof on both the 388 and 588, again adding to the ambiance in here. Now in terms of space, the back is still pretty comfortable, suitable for 5 adults or maybe 2 at best at back there, and 5 in total. Try not to put anyone in the middle seat, slightly less comfortable, but you still at least get rear aircon vents, which is an absolute requirement in this market. Now in terms of the drive, we'll be able to talk about this a little bit later. I've already driven the 588, but we didn't have a chance to film the driving experience there, so I'll talk to you about it when we get back behind the wheel of the 388. Now let's go and cut to the 588 walk around and I'm going to talk to you about that. Now, with the 588, the face is exactly the same. So you still get the same frameless grille, the same bumper treatment, the same full LED headlights, and the claw LED daytime running lights. Going down the side, you get slightly different designs for the 17-inch alloy wheels. They are still dual tone and still wrapped in Continental cross-contact tyres. You still get the same chrome door mirror caps and a lot of chrome down the side actually, but the big difference with this car actually comes from the rear. So as you can see, the rear door is much larger. This is to ensure that you have easier ingress and egress from the third row. You also get a more pronounced and straight roofline and a more boxy rear end, again to make room for the 2 passengers at the rear and also to make room for cargo. You still get the same triple claw LED brake lights, and what I forgot to mention earlier is both cars now come with scrolling LED indicators to make the car look a little bit more swish. You still get the same fake exhaust exits though, and you still get a powered tailgate with a kick to open function, which I cannot demonstrate because I do not have the key. Now, as you can see here, one of the seats back here is already up, so this gives you an idea of just how much space there is in this car. They say it's a 7-seater. It's best to consider this a 5+2. The 2 at the back here should be considered as occasional seating, and when you're not using them, there is definitely a lot more cargo space in here than there is in the 3008. Regardless though, whichever car you go for, what you can be assured of is a high quality interior and definitely nice appointments for everyone. Now, inside, I'm not really going to talk about too much because the cabins are actually shared between the front halves and even the second row. But of course, the second row gets a little bit more legroom because this is a larger car. Now, we're going to talk about the driving experience, so we are going to cut to a shot of me in the 3008, which my editor is going to do right about now. Now, the new Peugeot SUVs, what are they like to drive? So going up Genting, we're behind the wheel of the Peugeot 5008, the 7-seater. And while Peugeot would like you to believe that both cars are incredibly similar, if not identical in terms of how they drive, given the fact that they share quite a lot between them, there are distinct differences between the two. The 5008 was fantastic on the motorway, where it was very quiet and very serene, very comfortable, even at slightly higher speeds. But the moment we turned off of the motorway and started climbing up the hill, the 5008 faltered a little bit. You see, there's only so much that one can do to hide things like size and weight, and the 5008 does its level best to try and manage that, but while it's a commendable effort, it wasn't an absolute one. So you could definitely feel the movement of the body as you shuffled it through those tight twists and turns and so on. It was still relatively confidence-inspiring, but it definitely doesn't inspire you to drive quicker. You can carry speed, but you shouldn't really. And so I would say that it does decently well. Now, when we got to Genting and we did a little bit of filming, we were shuffled into a 3008 on the way down. Now, getting into the 3008 was a different experience altogether. You can tell that these cars are definitely made for a slightly more engaged driver. And I think it could be because of the size of these cars, and it could be the difference in weight, because the 3008 felt like a much more attentive and much more alert vehicle behind the wheel. It was a lot more fun to shuffle it down. And once we got down from the hill and hit the motorway, it revealed that just like the 5008, the 3008 is incredibly quiet and very serene when you're just driving it like a normal human being. So the 3008 definitely has a wider range of abilities where it is a bit more fun on B roads, but it's also very accomplished out on the motorway, whereas the 5008 is definitely a motorway cruiser through and through. Now, the reason why Peugeot wants you to think that they are identical is because, like I said, they share quite a bit. So under the bonnet of both of these cars is the same 1.6-litre turbocharged Prince engine, which produces some degree of power and some degree of torque, as you will see in the graphics below. And they're adequate, to say the least. There isn't an amass of torque or an amass of power, but there is enough. For town driving and motorway cruising, there is enough. For spirited driving, you will realize that the cars run out of puff relatively quickly. But when I say run out of puff quickly, I really do mean beyond the realms of most drivers. So these cars will be good for the 90th percentile. If you're looking for a more dynamic and engaging drive, you'll certainly be looking at a Mazda CX-5, particularly if you like a high, free-revving NA engine, or indeed a punchy, powerful turbocharged 2.5-litre, as you can get in the Mazda. Now, what might make you look towards the competition is the lack, or rather the omission, of active safety. Now, these cars do not come with autonomous emergency braking or collision warning or rear cross traffic alert for that matter. These cars only come with blind spot monitoring, driver drowsiness alert, and lane keep assist, active lane keep assist. And So if you were to compare it to vehicles like the Honda CR-V with Honda Sensing, or indeed the Proton X70 with its ADAS suite, you will see that these cars do lack a little something. But to that end, I don't think that it is enough to fully disregard these vehicles. I think that there are plenty of Malaysians out there who believe that they are all the active safety they'll ever need. And if you want a car that will truly stand out in the corporate car park, or even your condo car park for that matter, these two new SUVs from Peugeot will most definitely give you that. They look like nothing else out there, and that is a good thing by any measure. So, would I recommend them? It's a little hard to say. I haven't been able to fully test these vehicles. This is just a very brief preview drive, and we certainly look forward to testing these cars more thoroughly when we get the opportunity to take them out for a review. But for now, definitely take a look. These are very exciting entrants into the market, and we certainly look forward to testing them very soon. In any case, that's been our preview drive of the new Peugeot 3008 and Peugeot 5008. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon so that you're notified every time we make a new upload. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. All the links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care, stay safe, jangan bodoh.